I highly recommend it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
anyone.
Mostly because Candace is an amazing cook. So when she invites you over for dinner, you say yes.
I was just trying to get into character.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Mandy with Real Talk and Reviews. How are you doing
Hi,
today?
good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to talk about We Were Liars. This is an intense show and an intense story, and no pressure, but this is my show
Yay.
I know, we're like, yay!
because it did start out as a novel, and I'm a huge reader, as if you couldn't
I
already
know,
tell.
your
There
book
it
wall is
is.
amazing.
Yeah, really
and I love
good.
like the color coded, it's working.
Yeah.
It's no
Thank
notes.
you so much. But I'm wondering, when it comes to adaptations like this, what was it like getting to bring the Sinclair family to life? And can you talk about a little bit about your characters and their relationships?
I play Bess Sinclair, the who she likes to believe is the youngest of the Sinclair sisters and wears that as a badge. And we are part of the Sinclair family, who can kind of be thought of as like, if you think like Kennedy-esque or the Murdochs, and they travel every summer to their own private island off the coast of Martha's Vineyard. And there's three sisters and their children who they bring to the island as well. And there's a lot of it's really a family show about family secrets that don't necessarily know how to stay buried.
Yeah. And I play Penny Sinclair, the middle child, perhaps quintessentially so. A woman who leads with sarcasm and humor, I guess, cruel humor in most of her interactions.
Well, there's definitely a lot of secrets, a lot of humor, and a lot of twist in the show. And not everyone is who they say they are. So I'm wondering, how did you each prepare for your characters and to kind of get into their headspace?
I mean, definitely reading the book was important, and reading the prequel as well, Family of Liars. And we were so lucky to have the writer, Emily Lockhart, with us for a lot of the shoot. So we could ask questions. And then also our showrunners were so well versed in the book and knowledgeable about the whole world, and had really like thought through kind of everything.
Yeah, every time you try to like stump them with the question,
Yeah, you're like, well, what about this? Yeah.
They'd be like, well, because this, and that,
Yeah.
like with the red string,
Yeah,
like all on the wall.
Very beautiful mind. So yeah, everyone had really done their homework, and we also as actors spent a lot of time rehearsing and talking about the scenes and working on our dynamic as sisters, because we wanted that to ring really true and feel as they are not always kind to each other. We wanted to feel genuine. So we thought a lot about that stuff.
Yeah, and so I'm curious, because you do have this family dynamic. Was there anything that you did behind the scenes of filming, or outside of filming, that you did to kind of bring each other closer to this family dynamic?
I think something that was imperative that just really kicked everything off so beautifully was that before we all set foot in front of the camera, we all got together as the family of Sinclairs, like the Beechwood Islanders, and had a big dinner. Cooked together, sat around a dinner table, shared stories of our own lives, talked about the show, talked about like our journey to get to Nova Scotia and our own experiences. And we even had like a kids table and a grown-ups table, and like gathered in the living room, with David Morris sharing stories to all of us. So it kind of organically lent itself to having this like base foundation in which to creatively grow from and build off of. And I highly recommend it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
anyone.
Mostly because Candace is an amazing cook. So when she invites you over for dinner, you say yes.
I was just trying to get into character.
You're not an actress, you're cooking.
Yes, of course.
Lastly, I honestly think the story is going to be really impactful for young women, and just it truly shows the ups and downs of family and how family can look different for everyone and feel different for everyone. What's something that kind of stuck with you about this story that you take even now?
I think for me, the message, well, there's many in this show, I think, but I think it's really hard sometimes to break out of our family cultures, and it feels disloyal, and we don't know, and scary, and we don't know what's on the other side. But I think, and I hope that one of the messages is, if you feel like your family culture and the things that they're telling you you're meant to do in your life are not really in alignment with who you are and what you want, like step away, I think.
I second that
Cool.
completely. And maybe like lemon hunts sound really fun if you don't do them the Sinclair way.
Yeah,
That I
into
think
that.
is the other thing I'm going to take away.
Yeah.
Is that, man, it sounds like a great, I love an excuse to throw a party.
Yeah, and I look good in yellow. So,
yes, there we
yeah.
go.
See?
And we all look good in yellow.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for chatting with me today. I can't wait for everyone to see We Were Liars when it comes out. And I look forward to watching it all again when it's on Prime. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Hi, everyone. I'm Mandy with Real Talk and Reviews. How are you doing today?
Good, Mandy. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
Good. It seems like it's a coffee day just now, as I'm seeing.
That's the first one.
When it comes to these adaptations, can you tell us a little bit about your character and adapting it from pages to screen?
We're there to kind of serve the story, you know, be the people in that world that you love so much. I think one of the things that we really appreciate that E. Lockhart trusted the book to these people, Karina and Julie, and she was so supportive of this story, and that really rubbed off on all of us. She just has such a wonderful energy all the way through the process. And that's not always true with writers. Some writers really have a difficult time, you know, write novels and hand them over. But she's been fantastic.
Now, as actors, is it important to have that author and that writer on set with you?
I don't think I've ever worked on something where the author was alive.
Oh,
Because it's all shit like Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe and stuff.
yeah.
But I think, I mean, I didn't get to work much with Emily Lockhart. Emily came to set for me like right at the back end of my my shoot, but it was her seal of approval that I was serving Ed, and this is the Ed that she wanted or was happy with was a big deal. You don't get to do that. You don't get, you know, Shakespeare tell you that your Henry V is the one. So that's that's awesome.
I don't think it's, you know, we've both done Stephen King stuff. And Stephen he would visit the set, but he was not really a part of the show at all. And in some ways, I think it's rare that happens. With Emily Lockhart, she actually got to be there, and not a lot, but she was a wonderful presence when she was.
I was telling Candace this too, that I think that this story is going to be really impactful for young women. And I want to know what your takeaway from your side was after filming, what you want people to take away from this show.
Well, I had the experience, you just talked about how much the book means to you. And I didn't know a lot about the book before we did this. I knew it was a huge phenomenon. But I told somebody, a friend who you know, we've known for a while, that I was going to be in this, and she started crying as soon as she couldn't believe that this was going to be, she could be able to watch this. So I think there's a lot of people out there who are looking forward to this experience. So it's fun to be a part of that.
I think for me, I just want one thing from the audience, and that's that they were entertained, whether they saw themselves as the characters or they didn't, or they're part of that world or not part of that world. As long as they were in for the ride and they felt entertained and compelled to keep pushing on with each episode, that's the win for me.
Yeah, I love that. I think they're going to be entertained. I think they're going to feel connected. So thank you so much for chatting with me today, and I can't wait for everyone to see We Were Liars on Prime.
Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much.
much.